from the farthest that are that way place, you could rent strollers, you could rent wheelchairs. They had lockers, so you didn't have to carry your backpacks all day long if you didn't want to. So that they've thought of a lot of things that way to help assist people.
They had a lot of medical paramedics that were roaming around.
Yeah,
things like that.
Had plenty. They had plenty of help. You know, that was one of the things that really impressed me.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the Ark Encounter.
And the only reason that an atheist or whatever would want to be negative, I mean, they would just want to be negative.
So we get through the maze, and when you get through the maze, you actually have to... The maze is ground level.
Right.
For reference sake. You have to get up into the Ark. And so you feel like you're going up a series of ramps back and forth and back. Feel like that's how the animals would have gotten in.
That's exactly what it made me feel like, is one of the animals that's getting onto the Ark. It was such an awesome experience. I mean, I'm sure that's how Noah and everybody else got on as well. But just the way it was like they were animal ramps so that you could get up there.
And so we made our way, and finally we are on the Ark.
Man.
The first level, we took... it's kind of normal. You take more pictures at the beginning, and by the time you're wore out and everything, the pictures, they don't matter as much.
Exactly.
So, tons of pictures. Posted them on my personal Facebook wall. You can go there. I'm going to take all those and post them on the podcast site probably tomorrow. I'll talk all about what we've got in store for that later in the show.
I've got a bunch of pictures on my
Yes,
site.
Amy's got a bunch of pictures that she's... I think all of hers are linked to me. And if they're not, we'll get them that way, to where we can share all the pictures that we had, because we want to be promoters.
Absolutely.
We want to take the awesome experience that we had and share it with as many people as we can. And I don't know how many people made comments about posting it to themselves. Can't wait till they go themselves in person. People that were within driving distance of being able to do that.
Right.
Other people that I know that like to travel and take vacations, and one of them said she was hoping to be able to see it. She lives in Mississippi. And people begging us for pictures, you know.
Oh, yeah, saying as soon as possible, post more pictures.
More pictures. Because we posted a picture of us at first.
Right. That
we had arrived.
Right.
And people were, at that point, just clamoring for pictures. Send us pictures. Send us pictures. And fortunately, everything there, you're allowed to photograph. Mm-hmm. You're allowed to video, except for their video. They don't want you to videotape their videos because, you know, they sell those things.
Right. And you can't blame them for that.
No, I mean, they opened every exhibit they've got up to photography and video. So, the thing that got me from the inside was just how much room there was in this structure.
Absolutely huge.
At one point, we were down, I think either at the end of level 1 or maybe level 2, at an area where there really was no displays or anything. It was an open area. I said, look at that tiny little area compared to the entire Ark, and that's bigger than our entire sanctuary. And we have a large sanctuary.
We do have a large sanctuary. And it was huge. I mean,
they could have put chairs in there, put a stage up, and had a concert.
Absolutely.
Could have had a wedding. Could have had church service. Anything,
Mm-hmm.
and held several hundred people just in that one one fragment of an area. Now, we went through 3 floors today. We could see a 4th floor above us. I think that's part of phase 2. One of the things that we found is that, and we've been listening, that they bought plenty of land and acreage there to where they can expand upon the site.
Right.
They have already talked about having a Tower of Babel to go along with Noah's Ark, or the Ark. It ain't just Noah's Ark, but
Right.
the Ark, and several other things that I heard that they've got planned down the road, to where they keep expanding and keep creating new jobs for the local economy. We talked about that. We stopped and ate our anniversary lunch, supper, middle of the afternoon, whatever it was.
Whatever it was.
And we went about 25 miles away from the Ark, and we saw at least 3, probably 4 or 5 different groups of people
Right.
that were in the restaurant we were at, that either we had saw at the Ark, or they were wearing Ark Encounter
Right.
stuff, like you knew they had come from there. And you got to believe that for, I don't know, 50-mile radius around that,
Right.
that they're all going to feel added. I mean, there's no way, had we not been going to where we were at the Ark Encounter, that we would have eaten at that
Right.
restaurant.
Right. Right.
We wouldn't have. It's in an area we never go to, but because of the Ark Encounter, we did go, and we did stop and spend money.
Right.
We spent the night, well, the same place where we ate lunch today.
Right.
So we spent money in the local area.
Mm-hmm.
The motel that we were at was full last night. I don't know if it was because of whatever. I'm just saying factually that they had no rooms left after we checked in.
Right.
Not that we got the last one. We had our reservations in advance.
I know. Big shocker there.
Hey,
But I am very proud of you for that.
well, folks, from now on, when she complains about that I never plan anything in advance, all I'm going to do is hold up my hand and say, Ark Encounter. That's what I'm going to do.
Once in 2 years.
Hey,
But I'm not complaining.
Ark Encounter.
I'm not complaining. Not complaining.
So
I'm just shocked.
we are a good example of people that come and spend money on the local economy.
Absolutely.
Northern Kentucky benefited from us being there,
Right.
with money being spent, so they made money at the businesses.
Right.
Tax money was being spent because, trust me, they charge plenty of taxes around there, and on everything, even on the tickets for the Ark Encounter.
Wow.
So, you know, when you see the debate and everything, and some of the things that Ken Ham says about bringing jobs, bringing tourism, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, I mean, it brought over 1,000 jobs
Exactly.
to the area. So,
In an area that I'm going to guess doesn't have tons of jobs just floating around.
right.
You know, it's far enough away from Cincinnati that that's good news for them when somebody comes and brings 1,000
I would
jobs.
think so.
And the promise of more jobs to follow when they expand.
Right.
But I got off track there. The size of the inside. And think, there were 4 levels, so whatever the square footage of level 1 was, you take it level 2, level 3, level 4, and it gets to the question of, could all the animals have fit in this ark? And one of the first things that you do when you go in is see an area where there are wooden crates,
Right.
storage areas, and there's lots of bird noises and things like that. Crates the size of a crate that you would take your cat or small dog to the vet in, but they're wooden, and
Right.
places where that they would have stored small animals. And you see how many crates that they can put in just a very small
Right.
section, and you continue to walk, and on the second level they've got the bigger areas for bigger animals and things like that, and you start to think, and the size of this thing makes it actually realistic that you could have put the animals in here
Absolutely.
and got it done. And a lot of times I think people have a hard time grasping the story of Noah and the ark, about how it was built, how big it was, doing the work, getting all the animals on it. And one of the things that was in the video while we were waiting in line was a skeptic is talking to Noah, and she says, well, where are all the animals going to come from, and how are you going to get them here? And Noah says, it was my job to build it. God will provide the animals. And
well, we talked about that too. We talked about what was the conversation that we had about that though? Oh my goodness, I just went brain dead. Give me a minute.
We saw enough evidence that makes me believe that those animals would fit on the ark.
We talked about this on the way to the ark, about how, or on the way back, I don't remember, how it had to have been a God intervention.
Oh, we were talking about the getting it built.
Right.
Because, and it was last night, we were talking about somebody shooting I read a story in a local paper magazine, but then I also was searching Google, and for those of you that may go, that are listening to this, find your directions and everything in advance, because several of the map applications and things like that don't have the Ark Encounter listed yet, which was the case with our application.
Right.
So we used the old tried and true method of pulling into a convenience store and asking somebody outside, and it happened to be a person who had been volunteering for the previous 4 days
Right.
at the Ark Encounter, and he said, you're less than a half a mile from it. Just turn around, go back that road on the left.
Yep.
But the person that I'm making reference to said that it's kind of shooting itself in the foot by not being a believable. It took millions of dollars and who knows how many workers to build this ark, and we're supposed to believe that Noah built it back in whatever year it was, and we were talking about how it was a God thing.
Absolutely.
The whole thing is, God destroyed the earth.
Right.
And so it was a huge God thing. And bringing the animals, when we say things like anything is possible with God, anything is possible with God.
Absolutely.
We don't have to be able to grasp it or comprehend it. I don't think Noah could grasp or comprehend what the ark was going to look like at the end when he started putting the first two boards together.
Right.
It would be like us taking on a task of something we've never done before, and hearing the story of something massive, and knowing that it's not possible for us to do.
Right.
And then God giving us the ability to do it, and you see it at the end, and you think, how did we ever do that? We didn't. God did.
God did, absolutely.
And that's
that's exactly what the Ark was a God thing.
And so is the Ark Encounter. It's a God thing.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't know how. I'm going to try to find out from my friend if they announce totals for the number of visitors by day. I'm going to guess they don't give those figures out, but I'm going to find out if they do. I don't know how many thousand people were there. I know that the first parking lot that we came to was full, and they went into the overflow parking, which is probably what the plan is.
Right.
I know that probably there were a lot of people that were debating just like we were. And we even had people say on Facebook to us, we're going to wait till the crowds aren't so big. Well, opening day, and we're done and back home, and we're telling you that the crowd was not an issue.
No, not at all.
And the crowd was massive, but it wasn't an issue. And one of the reasons is because the place is so massive that it can hold literally thousands of people on there, and you're not elbow to elbow. I mean, I'm not saying that there's not plenty of people, and you got to watch what you're doing, and all of that, but you're not uncomfortable with people.
Right.
Well, sometimes when the people going down the ramps in front of you are going really slow, and then you cross over to the other side of the ramp where it's supposed to be people going up the ramp and you're going down the ramp,